y'all. Welcome to episode 221 of Consignment Chats, where today we are going to talk to you about something that usually puts me to sleep, but Libby made something that no longer puts me to sleep. We're going to talk about numbers. We're going to talk about what kind of a reseller you can be, because I know a lot of times we hear people talk their sales, their numbers. I'm a six-figure, I'm a whatever, and you're like, what? How can I? Can I? Can I? And Libby, we call it Libonomics. That's her new name for it. Several years back, created something that we are going to share with you that is going to change the way you look at it. If you're like me and numbers and spreadsheets make your brain scramble, don't worry. That's why we have our bestie Libby, who said, let me help a girl out.
And I don't think she says this enough or gives herself enough credit, who is a six-figure seller.
Yes.
That's
yes.
me.
She is.
She's walking the walk. She's talking the talk. She's sharing her knowledge, as we all love to do. And she has taken what we have heard others speak about in person and put numbers and stuff out there. And I go, what? And then Samantha leans over and goes, that's our thing Libby made. You see what I'm doing, y'all?
I was thinking I needed to grow a beard, like to get some cred in this industry. You know, like
I'm working on the beard.
Right. I think we're all working on that. Yeah. We eventually realized you needed something else that's anatomically not what we got, but you know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But I just want you to know, I'm not telling you what it is. You see what I'm doing? Or y'all feel I want to put it on a platter, but I'm making you wait till the end, till we get past this, and then you're gonna hear all about it and you're gonna go, where has this been all my life?
Right?
Consignmentchats.com.
Holy moly, schmoly. Holy moly. All right. But until we get into that, ladies, until we tell them our secret, our Libonomics, and we share all that, I want to know how your week was. We haven't seen each other in a while. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Consignment Chats. This is Molly, and I'll be joined by my co-hosts Libby and Samantha.
Yeah. My week was, it happened.
I just want to say, we took what, like 11 days together. We traveled, we partied, we learned, we networked. Oh my God, did we network? But we're having a real hard time getting back. So let's link up that episode we did with Vanessa about post vacations.
Yeah.
Good idea. She is now in Washington. She went with us, but then went on a separate vacation. So she's going to really need that when she gets back.
She's pulling a Molly. She's pulling a hashtag West Coast Molly. And
she is.
Like, she and I like to take those vacations and make them into a month or two.
Right.
The struggle is real. It is real.
So real.
And I've decided this time it's a mixture of exhaustion, time change, being on all the time, but it's also a slight little bit of depression that I don't have my girls with me in person anymore.
Mm-hmm. I was on Zillow last night looking at houses in my area for, I don't know why, because that's what people do. Okay. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say looking at houses in North Carolina.
That's what I was hoping. I found a place in Greensboro.
I did start looking at warmer climates, and then I started looking at like really big houses, and I'm like, well, if we all went in on it together, then that would be fine. And one of them had like this really big warehouse behind it, and it said like mechanic shop, whatever. And I'm like going through it, and I'm like, no, that could totally be a warehouse. I don't know what.
Where was this?
It was like Indiana or something, which it'd be close to my kids, we'd be close to Pam Henry, and it doesn't snow all the time.
But it snows.
Yeah. This is what happens. February, March, man, they are hard months in the North. Like, they are just not a lot of sunshine. You just get in a funk. Yeah. So it'll pass. Don't worry. It'll pass.
Our vacation didn't even really have that much sunshine either.
No, it did not.
But it felt like it did because we had so much fun all together, having a ball. Yeah, it really is pretty amazing. And I say this to myself all the time. that we three women have been working together for I don't know how long now. We truly love and respect each other wholeheartedly. Like Sarah Boynton came up, it's Boink, and said to me, I really I don't get it. Like in my mind, the three of you live together. I can't when I remind myself that you're in three completely different states across the East Coast, I'm baffled. Like she doesn't like the three of you.
Me too.
Obviously, Molly hasn't listened to the thrifting video where I was talking about her on microphone, and she doesn't know it yet.
Okay, so y'all, real story. Did we talk about this? We did talk about
it. We talked about it on our live. No, I don't think we
on our
talked about
live.
it
Okay, mic up. Like I do my haul videos and my sourcing videos, and so this will be coming out soon. But whether I edit it, gosh, if I'm putting it out there now, maybe I won't edit it. You guys can watch it and hear it. So,
oh god,
we are sourcing in Utah, and I've got my camera on because we're going to these, thrift stores. And everyone we walked in, I said, okay, which one of you girls is going to mic up? Because Nick usually mics up and I mic up, but I've got two. So one time Libby mic'd up and the next time Samantha mic'd up. And they forget they're mic'd.
So we jokingly beforehand, we're getting out of the van, we're micing up and jokingly say, wait, can I not talk crap about people on here? And she goes, you just have to talk about sourcing at some point and it'll be fine. Like we're all joking, having a good time. And then I actually talked crap.
Yeah.
You did? I think it was just me. I think it was like legitimately just me. Like I got that ball rolling. I was tired. I was cranky. I was snarky. Yeah.
They were talking crap about me. Meanwhile, I'm the one with the house that holds the voice in there, that I'm the one that's on my computer and edit it and hear the shizzle mojizzle they were talking about me.
You said you were looking for like more motivation to edit videos and get the thrifting hauls out and stuff. So we were now you have to listen to that one in its entirety, because I think there was not one, but 2 times when we were teasing you a couple aisles over.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say behind your back, because I may have come up to you.
She was facing to the side. She was
right. So Samantha comes up and I'm just doodling away with my cart full of stuff. And here's my way. I mean, if you watch, a lot of times I put things in my cart and then later I find a place and I'll comp, especially at like the bins or when I'm overwhelmed with stuff. If it's a lot of brands I don't know, I don't do it one at a time. I just put them in, move on, and then I'll find a spot and go through everything and make decisions.
Which is not how Libby and I shop.
I don't even thrift, like generally. Like I'm just there as a helper. Like it's not my thing.
She's there as a helper, yet
she did not comment
about not wanting to help and stay away from me.
I did not want to help that day. Normally I do. That's my job.
Sweet Samantha, feeling like the child who's going to get busted, decides instead of getting busted, she's going to come over and go ahead and clear the slate and tell me. So we may have just badmouthed and said a few things about somebody on the video, and it might just have been you. So, can I help you comp? He says, can I help you comp? Is there anything you want me to look up in your basket? Do you need help? Do you?
Because Libby doesn't want to help you.
Libby's comment was, don't go by Molly because she's going to put you to work. So then she comes over.
I don't even remember exactly now I can't wait to hear it because I don't even know exactly what I said at this point. I don't remember.
Samantha's like, I'm gonna go ahead and paddle on myself. Anyway, can I help you comp? And I'm like, no. And then I get the snarky, no, I don't need your help comping. You just walk away. I can comp all this by myself. And I sit down and start comping. Next thing I look over and Samantha's got something out of my cart. She's comping away over there. She's like, I will not go down.
The guilt. I couldn't take it.
And where was Libby? Nowhere to be seen.
She was off finding the only pair of mother jeans in Utah. That's what she was doing.
The only pair in Utah. Yes, absolutely.
God. Right. Yes.
Right. Anyways,
we had a great time. Good times. it is baffling just how well we all get along and fit. Like I mean, you guys have been best friends for forever, but like, yeah, we can just go on vacation and just
Right.
I feel like
It's
you've
fair.
been there forever too. Like there's
I
no
know,
like
I
it's so
know.
funny.
So
Yeah.
what's really weird is how many times, and I remember when I was teaching preschool, coming up at the end, halfway through my year, telling my director of the preschool, don't ever do this again. 3 girls never worked. They never worked until us. Like when you put 3 girls in any situation, one is always going to be left out. There's always going to be something that happens. It just doesn't work. And when I got this preschool class, I had 12 boys and 3 girls in my class. You would think the 12 boys at age 4 would be running me wild. No, it was the drama of the 3 girls all year long that drove me insane. But look at us breaking the mold, girls. Look
Again,
at
she
us.
hasn't watched the video yet.
She hasn't watched the video. She's gonna feel left
Next
out.
week, when you come back and it's either me by myself or just the 2 of them, you'll know things have changed.
I'm trying to remember what the other thing we were smack talking about was, but I don't even remember now.
I don't either.
Oh, great. So you didn't
Can we talk
me on
about
that.
the false hope that you gave me? I thought you like actually wanted my opinion on something in a thrift store, like clothing wise and everything. And I was like, I'm actually running a comp and like trying to, when really Libby was just buying me that adorable little purse as a gift. Yeah. All the incognito.
I'm like, Samantha, I need your help over here. I don't know if I
didn't need my help.
I was wondering why you were standing there so importantly. Whip out the phone. I got this. Yeah.
Oh, I'm on camera and she wants my help. God.
Ha 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 ha. Cute purse though, and it looks good on you.
It really does look perfect on you. Yeah.
It does. All right. So anyway, as you know, we all had fun. We're still trying to get over the depression of missing each other, get our energy back, get the work going. Thank goodness for motivation in minutes every morning. Because
oh my gosh, yes.
Does help when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I got to get out of bed. I'm still so tired. And then I'm like, oh, but I got my friends and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank goodness for that. So yeah, we're just getting ourselves rolling again. I've had some decent sales. My sales are down because I haven't been putting work into it, but there's been some goodies. There's been some goodies hopping out the door. So
yeah,
getting my roll back.
It's gonna be a good week this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mr. C Chats may or may not have made me teach him how to list last night.
Oh my gosh, you're not even going to be reselling anymore. It's just he does it all.
What the heck? That's awesome.
My husband, I don't remember what we were talking about the other day. He goes, well, I know, but Nick does. Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh my God, we don't compare. And he's like, you always compare me to Nick.
We do. We love to play our husbands against each other. When well, you know, Bill got Samantha a beautiful latte the other day. I don't have a latte. I have water. But
have you got any flowers recently?
Oh, wait.
Have you? Yeah.
I got these yesterday.
Oh my gosh, they're beautiful, guys.
Now we need to send Libby flowers.
I'm like, yeah, that's so nice.
All right. Anyway, I am anxiously waiting for you to prove to people that numbers and spreadsheets are not painful always.
They're not painful. Also, though, before we go into that and tell them what we're talking about, we've been doing the 12-week year. It is a book that everybody should read. And then we will help you implement it. And we have a weekly meeting. And we actually have a whole nother YouTube video, a quick shot where we tell you about it. And then we show you step by step how to join our Patreon group, whether you want to join for free and just get updates and stuff like that. Or if you want to dive in and do this 12-week year with us and make it the best quarter you've ever had and do a year in one. But we talk about that. So Libby's going to link up all the stuff about 12-week year because registration is open now. We only open registration once a quarter to do the following, round. We got to come up with a word for that.
Year.
But
Year. This is year 2.
Year. So we're going into year 2.
Yep.
Okay. So everybody go check that out. Do that. It's worth it. It's very business boosting. Very.
You will not regret it. Trust me. You will not regret it.
It is the only reason I am actually right here, sitting here recording today.
So it was the only meeting we had while we were in Vegas. And we should have had it every day. Oh my gosh. I was so motivated after that meeting on Tuesday. And I was like, yeah, I can totally do that when I'm on vacation. And then I don't know, I drank a margarita or something and I forgot about it. But if we'd have had it every morning, I probably would have logged all my food like I needed to, or done the, so.
Got my listings done or did my, Yeah. Well, you know what? It's okay to take a break. We were still working.
Yes.
We were doing a lot of peopling and a lot of, we did a lot.
And I mean, the reality of it is, right, we implemented these things. We had a rough week, but that week would have been much rougher without the 12 weeks.
Oh, it was the best vacation I've ever had as far as sales. And I still listed a ton of stuff, even considering it was the best working vacation ever. And I feel like I rarely got my laptop out. I rarely did it, but we just did so much prep work and had so much in place that yes, you are correct. It was the best vacation I've ever had.
Yeah.
So yay.
Proof that it's working.
It's working. It is working. Yes. So join us. I mean, join us. Yes. If you're interested in it, we call it the 12-week year reseller intensive program because it is intensive and you do have to put the work in. But if you want the results, that's kind of what has to happen. You got to put the work in.
I can't imagine that anyone would regret joining it. I just can't.
Right.
Speaking from one that was kind of like, oh gosh, okay.
Here Libby goes on another one of her things.
Here Libby goes again with another bill.
Amen. Another book. We're going to have to read another book.
Y'all, I've read more books with C-Chats than I think I did my entire 12 years of schooling in grade school through high school.
If you guys get our emails or our Patreon, I know we send a lot of Patreon updates and stuff every day because, we said, hey guys, here's this meeting that you can have while we're gone all week. And you can do your own motivation in minutes and your own mastermind check-in and your own, 2 people did it all week because they didn't get my notifications constantly. So first of all, don't roll your eyes at them. Second of all, if you are rolling your eyes at them and you're like, oh my gosh, they're reading another book. Oh my gosh, they're masterminding again. Just know that I equally do that. And I say, oh my gosh, we got to do this again. But it matters and it makes a difference and everybody should be there with us.
And in the end, you may roll your eyes when you read it, but then when you're in it with us, you're like, oh, this is so much fun.
And then we're like, all right, Libby, you were right. We needed this.
I know. We do admit that. We do. We give her the creds when creds are deserved.
I just want everybody to be the best resellers they can be.
Our Mel Robbins of reselling right there.
There we go. There we go.
Yep.
All right. So let's
lionomics.
They can do that.
Let's do this. All right. The listing calculator. So Samantha, you've demoed this 1,000 times.
You just hold on.
What?
You just went in there. I gave all this. We're not going to tell you what it is yet. You're going to have to wait. And you were like, so the listing calculator. No, we need drum roll. What are we talking about?
We can edit that.
No.
The listing calculator.
Candace, I am sorry if you are swerving all over the road right now or I don't know, peeing yourself on the train or something. I'm sorry. We are a hot mess this morning. So thanks for listening.
I'm putting my hair up.
All right. So let's start the listing calculator. I'm just going to tell you the basics. You need to know how much you need to earn over the course of a year. Now, I have a 12-week version of it. If you join the 12-week year program, you will get a 12-week year version of it. But this is for the year, calendar year. How much do you need to make in a year? Are you making part-time income like $5,000, $10,000? You want to be a 6-figure reseller. You want to make $100,000. whatever it is, this is for you. So it doesn't matter if you're part-time, full-time, you need to set a goal. And I developed this for myself because I had no clue what I needed to do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. How much do I need to list to get to my goal? How much, like, what do you have to do? Like, I don't think anybody can answer that question off the cuff. Like, how do you figure that out?
Well, I mean, like, we can because we use the calculator, but
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, that's like step one. Everybody thinks about how many do I need to list to be successful? Well, what is successful in your eyes? Like, what is your goal? Because my version of successful used to be to get sushi every Tuesday with my friends. Like, that was, I just wanted enough to do that and not bug my husband for more sushi money, because apparently I ate a lot of sushi. So that was my goal. Now I have to make sure I pay our insurance, our car payment, our energy bill, like our water bill. Like, there's different things. So first of all, what's that?
Yeah, figure out how much you need to make to get by or to meet your goals or whatever it is. You can just throw a number off the top of your head if you don't know, or you can go as in detailed as like, these are my bills. Now, initially I just put a number out there, but then for the past 2 years, I have actually went in, looked at my bills, how much I wanted to say, all of that. And that's how I came up with how much money my desired gross revenue. Yeah. All right. So does that explain it? And then we'll show it to you.
It explains that part a little bit. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Show us.
All right.
Screen share. Here we go, y'all.
Here we go. Now this is available at consignmentchats.com, like running across the bottom of the screen there. If you're on YouTube, if you're on podcast,
it's free. It's free, guys.
So totally free. It has helped me so much that we all just wanted to share this. All right. So that you guys can be the best resellers you can be. Yeah. All right. So basically, don't let this intimidate you. The first page is an example. You'll see on the bottom, it's just a locked example. Let's say you download it, you mess something up. You can download it again. It's not a big deal. Don't worry about screwing anything up. It's fine. We can fix it. All right. Desired gross revenue. Let's say this. So this is the example one we have in here. These are the numbers you're going to fill in. Your desired gross revenue. I have $20,000, and that's how much you'd like to make in a year. And then here's something that you do need to know is your average sale price per item. You want to figure out, what that is, have a general idea of that. Now, I am going to link up a tutorial on Consign Cloud, how I pull all my reporting, and I can get these numbers easily right from there. That's our consignment software. It's pretty awesome as far as reporting goes. Let's say you're on eBay. You can go into your seller hub. You can just get a quick and dirty number. Like, this number does not have to be exact. I don't want anybody just really spending time, like getting it down to the penny. Like, don't don't get lost in the trees there. So your average sale price per item. The number of items you list per week, which you probably all have a pretty good handle on. Number of items sold per week, which you can get out of your software or however you track it, or you can just go into Seller Hub, or if you're only on Poshmark, like, just figure out how many that is, how many you sell per week. All right. So those are the numbers you need. Those are the things you might have to look up or do a little tiny bit of work on. Now, I recommend, if you don't feel like doing these numbers or it is totally overwhelming to you, go ahead and put in what you think it is. Just start somewhere. Do not get bogged down by getting these numbers exact. If you're just starting, just put something in there.
Just to throw this in there, because I'm looking at if you didn't want to go to each individual and you use a cross listing like Vendu, or they do the analytics there too that will give you some of that information without necessarily having to go to each individual. Right?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. And I think the same goes for ListPerfectly as well. You can get your analytics there. You can just get a quick, but don't get too caught up in that. All right. Then this is kind of the fun thing. I like this. Weeks worked per year. How many weeks do you want to work? How much vacation are you taking for yourself?
Oh, and you got to be, okay. So say you have a week's vacation scheduled with your family. You're going to go spring break somewhere, do whatever. Add another week for sickness. A pet gets sick. Aunt Sally needs you for a weekend. Like whatever it is, just like add another week of that like personal time that you may need.
Yeah.
And then, just
Or like getting back from vacation.
Oh God.
When you can't get back on track. Something like
yeah.
something like that. All right. The other thing is your days worked per week. How many days do you want to work per week? This can be different. Like some people work 2 days. Let's say they're part-time and they work the weekends. I have in the example here. So I have 48 weeks worked in a year, meaning 4 weeks of vacation, and days worked per week, 5. So that's the example. All right. And up at the top of this, you will see that there is also a video linked up. We do have a YouTube video specifically on the listing calculator. This video should suffice for you, but if you need a little something else, we do have another video on it. Okay. All right. So you put the numbers in here, and we're going to play with this in a minute. Samantha's going to guide us through actually plugging numbers in and doing this. So you can see actually how you plug them in. Okay. So it's going to spit out here. Like you can see, this is the number you put in, your gross revenue. You want it to be $20,000, which means you need to sell about 909 items this year. You need to list about 2,424. And the target items to list of dollar value is about 5,300. All right, that sounds a little overwhelming. Like, what do I need to do for the day? Just tell me what I'm doing today. Just tell me what I'm flipping doing today, guys.
That's me. I like the breakdown. I love the breakdown.
I like the daily and weekly. I don't look at the yearly. I don't really look at the monthly. All right, so let's go right down to the daily. What do I need to do 5 days a week? I need to make about $83 a day to hit that goal. I need to sell about 4 items, and I need to list about 10 items. And the value of those 10 items should be about $222.
So if you're just starting, you're just like trying to make a goal, trying to get some consistency, a schedule, a routine, look at that number of items to list, come up with a routine. I'm going to list 10 a day, work on your processes, do the things. And then as you get into your routines and you have a set schedule that you're working on each week, and then you can start looking at the dollar amount. Sometimes people go, oh my gosh, $222 a day. That's ridiculous. How am I ever going to do that? If you don't currently list 10 items a day, just focus on that. Focus on a process that gets you listing the right number of items a day. And then we can work on getting you higher value items and go from there. Don't let it overwhelm you. None of this should overwhelm you. Some of it might be a little slap in the face of like, oh crap, I got to list a lot more, but don't let it freak you out and overwhelm you.
Right.
Yeah. Let's kind of chat about the slap in the face, because I think we've all had that when we plugged our numbers in. I need to do what? How am I going to get there?
I have to tell you, when I first did mine for this 12-week year that we're in right now, the first year of
year one
of 2025, I was like, holy moly, I got to list $1,700 worth of items in a week. Like, can I do that? And this past week, because what we were just talking about, coming off of vacation, not really having it all together, I was like, I am sure I'm way below. At the end of the week, I was like, Nick, we need to total my value of listings. I'm sure I was way below. No, I was above.
Wow. Nice.
And I had no idea. Like, it ends up being easier than you think it is in the end. Like, it may be overwhelming, but don't let it break you down, because
I think that too is because you got into your processes and your routines.
Right. Like Samantha said, you get your processes down, and then the next thing you know, you're doing it and you're not even thinking about it. And then you're like, oh, wow, I did more than I realized I did. You know?
Absolutely.
And once you know that, you're going to pick an item to list, and maybe it's a maybe it's a week where you don't have as much energy, you're going to pull out a couple of those higher priced items and put them in now to help get that number up.
Yeah,
My
definitely.
first List-a-Palooza with you guys, just participating as a community member in our Facebook group, my goal was 25 items, to list 25 items. Like, that was what, 3.5 years ago. It's just mind blowing. Like, it doesn't matter what step you're in. If you want to make $500 as a side hustle this year, use the calculator, figure out how you're going to list one thing a day or whatever that is. But like, the routines and the processes, once I got those processes in place to do 5 items a day or whatever, now same thing. You can just list and do that process and do that process. And as long as I give myself enough time and I don't like go out to dinner with my husband all the time or let him take me out to do, he's very distracting. Then he's so distracting. Babe, let's go to Canada and let's go shopping. Okay, that sounds great. But as long as I stay disciplined in my processes, then yeah, you can list all kinds of stuff. All kinds.
I'm seeing a new t-shirt that I'm going to make. Bill made me do it.
Yes, I like it.
Bill made me do it.
Bill will not like that, but yes, that's.
So I think I want to hit the point one more time before we go into the example of concentrating on the number versus the dollar value when you're just beginning.
Mhm.
I loved what you said about getting your process down. Like, that's telling us we need to list 10 items a day, 5 days a week. So figure that out and get that process down, squared away. Do not even think about that number. You're not there yet. It can be, that's going to be a different thing. That's like when you want to level up. Like, this is what I did to level up was I went from the number of items, which I had done for years. And then I went to the dollar value because I was like, how can I get to the next level? And what that does, it change. Everybody who's done it has agreed that it changes what you list, the order. Like, you naturally pull the higher dollar value items. You're more motivated to get that item up instead of listing like little easy to list stuff, right? Like, your whole thought process kind of just shifts naturally. Yeah.
It also changes what you source if you are somebody who goes out and gets your items. I put a lot more. Now, let's not get it twisted. There's still those things I grab because my heart just needs to save them. Like, it's just so cute. And yes, it may be a $9 or $19 item, not a 50 or above, but that's something I just love that keeps it fun for me. I mean, I like when I save those things. I'll never put that out of what I do, but I do spend less thought and time on the bread and butter type stuff and look for the higher stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it definitely, it shifts without you even realizing it. Yeah. I've also had people that use our calculator, they get that number and then they take that number and use it as a way to get their money mountain or death pile, as some people like to call it. But it is a money mountain.
It is a money mountain.
And they will say, okay, the calculator says I need to list 10 a day. I'm going to pull 10 items from my money mountain. And they will do that. And we've seen that after a while, they're really digging through that money mountain to pull a good 10 items for the day. And and then eventually they're donating half that money mountain and they're sourcing differently and they got their room cleaned up and they're doing great.
Because it is okay in the end if you've had stuff that sits around for a long time and it really doesn't have a great to end up letting it go. It's okay to not list all those items that you thought you had to source 2 years ago, but it's at the bottom of your money mountain and you pull it out and you're like, I never listed. It's okay.
Yeah.
Have a yard sale, donate it, find a friend who wants it. It's okay not to list it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. You ready, Samantha? Let's take this baby for a test spin.
Yeah, sure.
You're role playing, Samantha. You're role playing.
I know. All right. So something we got to think about with the gross revenue as well. If you are a consignment seller, as like 90% of my business any given time of the year is consignment, You need to think that, okay, your gross revenue needs to be higher than what you need to take home because you have different expenses with paying your consigners out and things like that. So, let's put $50,000 in there.
Let's talk about cost of goods too. Like if you're outsourcing,
same.
I recommend highly that you listen to our episode and read Profit First, because that will guide how much you have to source without using credit, just using your business money. But anyway, you also have to consider like your cost of goods. You got to add that in.
Let's all cue the eye rolls. Oh, another book. It's important. Do it. Even I read that one and it's changed my business. Do it.
Even I read that one.
Don't use credit. Don't use credit.
Well, some of them I just buy and I don't actually read. So there's that. But yeah. Okay.
Look at we probably all have within an arm's length a book.
I have the slight edge right over here, but I'm not going to reach and get it.
Okay, so I want to make $50,000.
All right. And what's your current average sales price?
My average sale price right now is $32.
All right. How many items do you generally list a week?
These aren't my real numbers, guys. I'm not prepared for this. I'm just trying to put
that's what we want to do.
There.
We don't want your real numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, not that, we talk about our real numbers in the Patreon all the time. So if you want to know our real numbers, we share them in there.
Well, then I take back the clap celebration for that $32.
That is about what mine is. Yeah. Number of items listed per week, let's say 75.
And number sold per week?
35.
If y'all are listening on podcast, this is another one of those episodes you need to hop on over to YouTube, subscribe and watch, because it is great to see it in action.
Yeah. How many weeks do you want to work this year?
All right. So let's see. We've got one vacation, we got one conference. That's like a week. Conference number 2. That's like another week. We got some meetups. I should probably take a vacation with my family and not just you guys. Let's say 52 weeks in a year. I'm going to work 47 of them. Vacation, sick time. Got to think of it all.
Yep. And how many days a week?
6 days a week. I don't want to see anybody put 7 in there, although I know some of us do. But
Not me.
Okay, good. People that are Patreon do. I don't want to see anybody put 7 in there. You should at least have a day of rest. And it also provides as a buffer day. So if something happens, you have your sick time. But if you run out of your sick time or you don't want to use one of your vacation days, then you can use that buffer day to say, okay, I didn't get to list anything on Thursday. I'm going to do that on Saturday instead. Or it just allows a little wiggle room. If you are putting 7 days a week in there, you're already setting yourself up to be stretched too thin or use too many vacation days.
I agree. I love my Sundays or my buffer day.
Yeah.
And I often need them as a buffer.
And other times we make sure we have family dinners and things going on. So that's fine. But yeah, it gives you wiggle room.
Yeah, agreed. All right. So these are the numbers. So let's take a look at this and see what it says. It says, all right, so you need to make about $177 a day. That's what you're going to sell. Items should be selling about 6 a day, and items to list about 12 a day.
Oh, well, that's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah. Dollar value per day is about $380.
So if we were to change the average sales price per item, actually, I think it's more about $25 per item.
All right. Yeah. Let's see what that does. Okay. So your gross revenue daily stays the same. What changes is the items to sell about 7, items to list 15, and the dollar value stays about the same, $380.
Yeah, it's going to stay the same. Because you want to make the same amount, you just have to list more items because your average sales price is lower. So that's something as you go through, it's not like you're just going to do this calculator once and then like never touch it again. Those will always be your numbers.
Right.
I mean, when Molly did this a year ago, hers might have been 30 something. And now your average sale price is what, like $56, $57?
Something, yeah.
Yeah. So she just got to keep sourcing and keep listing those higher dollar items. But, she only has to do like 5 a day, technically, if she wants to meet her numbers. So your numbers will shift the more you do. Also, if I did this in 6 weeks, or not 6 weeks, give it more than 6 weeks. If I do this in 6 months, and now I'm, listing 150 items a week, and I'm, selling 80 or whatever it is, that's going to shift numbers and stuff too, and change things. And maybe I have a vacation coming up and I want to only work 3 days that week and still get my same numbers. So I don't have to use vacation days. I can put in there that I want to only work 3 days this week, and it is going to do the math for me. I know that some people are like, well, this math is easy. You can just do that, Samantha. I'm dumb, and I like a calculator.
Yeah, I mean, anybody can just do this math on their own, for sure.
Right.
It's nothing. It's nothing magical or complicated.
Nothing extravagant. We just like to put it in a different format in front of you, so it takes less brain power to do this, and you can reserve that brain power for listing. So if I said that I only wanted to work 3 days this week because I have a vacation, but I don't want to use up my vacation time, maybe it's a funeral that I end up having to go to, or something that happened unexpectedly and I didn't allot enough time, I can say, okay, I'm only going to work 3 days. I'm going to have to list 30 items a day, or about $760. Like it can just,
I never even thought to use it that way. You totally, I was like, what? You do what? That's awesome.
That's a smart way to use it.
Yeah, it really is.
If you list 30 items a day for 3 days, you're going to feel a heck of a lot better about that long thrifting weekend you're taking with your husband to Wisconsin. Like it's going to, not from experience.
Wait, is there a long thrifting weekend? Are you doing a long thrifting weekend in Wisconsin?
I'm thinking about it, but we're also going to Nashville soon, so I don't know.
Yes, you are.
Oh my gosh, too many vacations, guys. See, make sure you allot for your vacation time.
Yes, girl, yes.
Do you want me to just change this down to works week per year, about 20?
Oh,
wow.
Oh, now you only need to list about $1,800 a day.
Oh my God. Okay, but that's only 3 days a week. Let's change that back to 6.
Okay.
That's really, if you get a process in place to make $50,000 a year and only work 20 hours or 20 weeks a year, 6 days a week, that's not terrible.
This is what you would need to do. I mean,
like it tells you, it's there for all the scenarios. If you're like, well, I'm a travel nurse and I like to thrift and list stuff from my motorhome. I know people that do this. I'm very jealous of them. And I nurse, 4 12-hour shifts a week. And so that allows me 2 days a week to do this. And I want to make, $20,000 to just fund my sourcing. I don't know, like, because travel nurses be making bank, but you can do that. You can put whatever your scenario is in here, and it's going to give you a realistic thing.
Let's just throw a 6-figure one in here, because that's what we hear all the time is people want to be 6-figure. Let's go the lowest end of 6 figures.
Yeah.
Did I put too many zeros in there? No, I got it.
You did good. Okay.
Let's see what it takes. Let's say we're about $29. We want to make $100,000. Average sales price, $29. Let's say we list about 200 and we sell about 100.
These are actual, like, pretty close Libby numbers, just so you guys know.
I wish my average sales price was 29, actually. Works week per year.
48 she put in there, y'all.
48. And days worked per week, I'm going to say 5.
Yeah.
That's what I have in mind. Yeah. All right. So this is what it looks like if you want to be a 6-figure reseller. You need to make about $416 a day. And this is based on 48 weeks and 5 days. Okay.
So I
yeah.
just want to say, somebody's going to be like, well, why do I need to know what I need to make? I can't control that. I can't control what people buy every day. This will help shift your mindset too about the sales you're going to run, the offers you're going to make or take, the things like that will push it over. I mean, Libby does I don't really pay attention to my gross revenue each day, but Libby, you do. How is your mind shifted?
I do, because I do reseller reflections every night and I report in if we hit our sales goal. So I don't necessarily recommend that people look at it on a daily basis. I like to look at it on a daily basis because I do that. We've seen people get caught up in the roller coaster when you're looking at it on a daily basis. But I think just to kind of do like a quick and dirty look, like, all right, there's my sales total for the day. Kind of where am I lining up today? I think it's helpful if you're somebody that can handle looking at that and it's not going to derail you.
I do need to take this offer, or no, actually, I already did my goal for the day. I don't need to take this offer. I can hold out a little longer.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of a part. I don't know that I recommend it. I think most people, it just gets a little bit too much to look at it daily. Weekly, I think is the sweet spot to really look at your sales number at the end of the week when you do your reseller reset with us, or when you do your books or whatever. I think that weekly number is kind of important to look at your gross revenue. How do you do it, Samantha?
I agree. The weekly is what I really like on here. When I look on here, I pretty much just look at my daily, what I need to list, but weekly as far as revenue. If anybody follows Katie and Vicky on YouTube as well, our awesome friends, they do a weekly breakdown every Sunday. And I love the way that they break their stuff down and show everybody. So yeah, I think that's the best way to reflect and pivot for the next week.
Absolutely. All right. So we need to make about a day. So you can kind of just, if you decide to use that number, just gauge, like, just kind of look at where you are. Items to sell, you should be selling about 14 a day. Items to list, 29. And you want to be listing about $830 worth of inventory 5 days a week based on this. That's a lot.
So a lot of people, the first thing they do is they put in $100,000, they run these numbers and they say, oh my God, I can't do that. I have to list $4,000 worth of stuff a week. This is crazy. Sometimes they cry, sometimes they scream. There's a lot of emotions. Some of those people are only currently listing, 3 items a day, which is fine, but not if you want to get to these numbers. So
this is where the slap in the face comes with reality.
That's the slap in the face. Yeah. Know what your current numbers are as far as what did you make last year? What did you make in the last quarter? What have you done? And then let's set some realistic goals. You may get to $100,000 in a year or 2 or 3 or whatever that is, or you could do it this year. Absolutely. Libby is crazy. And when Libby sets a goal, she meets it no matter what. She's crazy. But set something that's realistic. So many people will run this number, say, oh my God, and then they'll just close it down and never look at it again. And they get so discouraged. That's not what this is for. This is for help you set goals and figure out what you can realistically do with what you're doing. And processes are so important to get you there.
Yeah.
If you look at this
number, if this number overwhelms you, then like you're saying, build on it. Look at it and then back it down a little bit and use that as your goal. But maybe starting out, you build on it, start a little lower so that you can get those processes going and streamline.
Yeah. Or let's say like, oh my gosh, I can't believe 20, that's totally out of reach. But what happens if your average list price is $100 or your average sales price is $100? That took you down to 8 to list a day. Maybe you need to look at the quality of inventory you have. There are things you have some wiggle room here where you can really start to, see where it is you need to improve. Can I up my average sales price, or is it easier for me where I am to increase the number of items I'm listing? You have a lot of options here to get where you want to go. But yeah. Here's one thing. I don't know which to mention first, but I think I'm going to mention this first. Let's see, you plug these numbers in and you're like, I just nailed it this week. I just nailed it this month. Why aren't my sales reflecting it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is not immediate, guys. I would say you should start to see a little progress after 2 months. Let's say you're doing the things, you're hitting your numbers, this should be working. You got to wait. You got to give it 2 solid months before you start to see any, balloons.
Libby's making balloons with her hand motions here.
Before you see any progress. After 3 months, I'd like to say that your sales, and this is absolutely from experience, my experience and the experience of others who have done this as well. 3 months, you should be starting to hit those numbers, but 3 months. So don't just be like, I did it last week. I did it last month. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Consistency is key, and it takes a little bit to see the results, but you'll get there.
Yes.
So the other thing I just want to mention is when you are putting your numbers in, do not, yes, we have had people do this, take your numbers from last week.
Right.
Or
only Q4.
Or only Q4.
Right.
The bigger the data that you have, the more of an average it is, the better, the more accurate your results and when it's telling you to do is going to be. Like this time I took my numbers from the entire last year, averaged them out. And that's how I got the numbers. And again, I'll be doing a separate tutorial, the Consign Cloud reporting, that will also be applicable to other software systems as well. So you can see how to get those numbers, but the larger the data set is, the better your numbers are going to be, the more accurate your numbers are going to be. So don't think, all right, well, I'm going to plug my numbers in. I've had people do this. I put my numbers in from last week and it gave me some really bizarre results. It is not a long enough period of time to be doing that. You're going to get some wacky results if you do that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, reselling is a roller coaster. This is going to give you consistency and a base. Reselling is still going to be a roller coaster. It still depends on what you sell and things like that. But the nice thing about this is it's going by your numbers. You currently list X amount and sell X amount. So it doesn't matter what niche you're in, what things you sell, as long as it's based off those numbers. If you're going to list that, sell that, boom, this is how you boost it up. List more.
You got this. You're going to get slapped in the face when you put your numbers in there. Then you're going to find Consignment Chats, one of our motivational videos. You're going to pick yourself up off the floor and you're going to get to work.
Yeah.
We're going to lift you up and help you out because that's the way we roll. Whoop, whoop. All right. So if you're like me and you were scared of all this stuff before, because even when Libby made it, she was like, you need to do it. And I'm like, oh, no. I don't do
I don't think you did it for like a year.
I know, because I don't do spreadsheets and math. But oh my gosh, when Libby was finally like, that's it. We were in a meeting. She's like, I'm pulling it up now and we are doing it. And now I love it. If I can do it, you can do it, and it will change the game for you. It's just good I was just going through willy-nilly, not really, listing here, listing there, not really paying attention with an overall game plan. So thank you, Libby, for creating this, for giving us lionomics. A lot of people, like we said before, they know how to do the math, but it's overwhelming when you sit there and I feel like I was back in class with all equations being put out there. This does it for you. As Samantha said, save all that brain power for getting those listings done.
And isn't it kind of cool? Like, instead of saying, I find nothing wrong with if you're just starting and you pick an arbitrary number out of the sky, I'm going to list 5 items a day. Great. You have a starting point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like if you're just, been doing this for years and just I always said it was like throwing spaghetti at a wall. Like, oh, I think this worked this week. All right, I'll list 100 items a week now going forward.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
All right. You guys got
moral of the story is go to consignmentchats.com.
You guys got this. and we've got you. That's what she's really saying. That's where the consignment chat's at, because we've got you. All right. So until next time, friends. Cheers. Oh, look, Samantha actually has a cup, a mug.
I do, and I drank all my coffee.
It's an empty mug, but she's got a mug.
Oh, I should have used this guy.
Thank you for joining Libby, Molly, and Samantha, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we grow your reselling business. For all things Consignment Chats, visit us at consignmentchats.com and join our free private communities on Facebook and/or Patreon.